Welcome to the Quick Start Guide for the FarmMap4D Spatial Hub. This video will explain the key features of the hub and take you through the layout of the online interface. Start by logging into the hub using the details provided to you. After logging in, you will see a map which will be showing the data which you have access to. This will be different for each user depending on your access permissions and is most likely to be constrained to just your property. Navigation for this map works the same as any other web-based mapping. Using FarmMap4D is best done with the aid of a mouse, which gives you much more control. You can scroll in and out using your mouse scroll wheel, pan around the map by left-clicking and dragging, or use the plus and minus buttons on the screen to zoom in and out. If you find that the toolbars and panels take up too much of your screen, adjust the zoom level in your browser down to a more appropriate level that enables you to see more image. The layer panel on the left allows you to turn data on or off over your property. Change to the layer list by clicking on the Layer tab at the bottom left of your screen. Close or expand this panel by clicking the arrow at the top right of the map panel. Layers are grouped into several categories. Property infrastructure layers are specific to your property. Base maps provide a different context for you underneath your property. Land type and grazing plan outputs can be created over your property, and the time series satellite data displays data for your property over the last 30 years. These layers can be turned on or off, and a detailed view of the map legend can be found by expanding the legend button next to each layer. In the property infrastructure group, you can find data about your property. Infrastructure points contain information about individual features in your property, such as homestead locations or water points. Infrastructure lines contain information about linear features, such as fences or water pipelines. Infrastructure polygons show the paddock polygons that have been generated from fence lines, recording paddock names, sizes and perimeter length. Transportation lines contain information about linear transportation infrastructure, such as roads, tracks, rail, airstrips, etc. The land type group contains two layers. Property land type, or land unit data, represents the different kinds of typical country in your property. Clip to your boundary, and this is used to understand grazing patterns and carrying capacity. There's also a reference layer called the interim land types from the statewide data, which you can update before clipping out your property. The grazing circle layer under the grazing plan outputs shows scenarios of grazing circles over your property. These grazing circles consider fences, gates, and permanent and ephemeral waters. A tool we will explore later allows you to run new grazing circle or distance from water scenarios. These scenarios can be viewed from this drop-down box, and the data can be exported to tables for each paddock for planning purposes or combined with new land types and land condition for carrying capacity analysis. The last layers are groups of satellite image products which help provide context for your property. Most of these are available for dates covering the last 30 years. As an example, the ground cover data set provides a view of proportional ground cover for a whole season and models what proportion of an image pixel can be classified as green cover, non-green cover, or bare ground. These are visualized by the strength of the colors green, blue, and red respectively. There are some tools available in the hub to allow you to look at trends and comparisons in this data over time for both your property and the local region. These will be explored in later videos. Satellite data, which is available per season, can be viewed and changed using the slider bar at the top of the screen to scroll back through time. Closing the layer view, we can move on to the second key area of FarmMap4D, which is the tools. These tools can be accessed by clicking the Tool button in the top right of the map screen. This new window has 5 tabs. The first allows you to interact with, change or update, analyse or report on information about your property. The second tab contains some basic tools to allow you to explore your data, such as identifying features or querying the data. The third tab contains additional useful tools, such as for measuring distance or area, or just drawing things on the screen like a sticky note. This can also be used to mark up potential new features, such as a proposed fence line. These lines or points can then be downloaded as GPX files to verify in the field with your GPS unit, or to refer back to at a later date. The fourth tab, called Imagery Analysis, contains 3 different tools allowing you to look at trends and comparisons in the fractional ground cover data over time for both your property and the local region. The fifth tab enables you to calculate safe carrying capacities for your property and paddocks based on paddock size, the spatial arrangement of water, land types and their sustainable carrying capacities, land condition and the distance from water. The next videos in this series will go into detail about how to use each of these tools.